Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what I'm sure is your favorite podcast, Life According to Nikki.
Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that.
Can I get more pretentious in that intro? No, I can't. Thank you all for joining me today. You guys, I just finished watching about 30 to 45 minutes of The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 Reels after telling myself that I wasn't going to be on Instagram today. Oh my gosh. How do I do this to myself? I gave myself a whole speech yesterday about how unproductive I have been, about how I could literally save the world if I got off my effing phone sometimes. Because the amount of things that I'm able to do just on the day to day, I have a very busy schedule. My friends joke all the time, like, how do I get it all done? Like, girl, imagine if I didn't also spend so much time on my phone. Like, I'm doing all of this and I'm spending so much time on my phone. I need a brick phone. I really do. But the problem is, I'm trying to do the whole social media thing, which I hate. I hate it more than anything else. I enjoy the making videos part, but as we know, I hate editing. I hate posting. I hate everything else that there is to. I mean, I don't read my comments, so at least we don't have that. But oh my gosh. Every time I'm like, no, I'm deleting my, you know what? Get me a different phone. Get me a different phone. It's just, I can't. Well, and now I have so many things in my drafts on Instagram of different, videos that I have edited and I'm going to release because I've been trying to get ahead for this upcoming semester. So I can't delete the app off my phone anymore. That's what I normally do, is I delete it every day because I'm insane and I have no self-control, and that's the only way I figured out how to have at least a tiny bit of control in my life when it comes to Instagram. But no, now I can't delete it because if you delete it off your phone when you have drafts, then it will delete the drafts. So I'm back on my addiction. Ugh. But you know what? All of that aside, I did just have a wonderful 45 minutes watching these clips from season 3 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Oh my gosh. Guys, it released. Did I talk about this in my last podcast? Honestly, I might have. And if I did, I'm sorry. But it's fresh on my mind because I just watched season 3 yesterday. Well, I wish I watched all of season 3, but, of course, they're being super annoying about it and doing a weekly release. So I really only watched the first 2 episodes. And, I have been a stan for Team Jeremiah this whole time. We know this. We know this from past episodes. I cannot get down with the brooding sad boy, bad boy. I can't. But I'm going to be honest. Oh, Jeremiah, spoilers, by the way. Spoilers for what I'm about to say. Jeremiah cheating. Are we freaking kidding? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, but I also can't condone cheating. She should choose herself. I know all of you would be so pissed off in the end if Belly chose Belly, but honestly, at this point, they're just all so toxic, but it's crack cocaine that they fed into this show. I'm telling you, it is so good. There's not really anything about it that I can really break down. I almost feel embarrassed telling other people who have never seen this how much I enjoy this show because I don't know. Okay, you know what? Let me compose myself. Let me gather my thoughts here. The Summer I Turned Pretty is such a fresh, new show. I think it uses Taylor Swift music, for one. Which, do you know how hard it is to get licensing for Taylor Swift songs? Okay, and they're not just subtly playing in the background. No, part of The Summer I Turned Pretty, the marketing and the shooting of the entire thing is incorporating Taylor Swift into it. So it feels very fresh, summery. In the first season, you had Cruel Summer playing, and it just really set the tone. The music in this show, they've probably spent no less than $3 million on licensing alone. Do I know if that number's accurate at all? No. I just threw that out. But it's got to be millions of dollars that they've thrown into the licensing of music because they have bangers. And the lyrics of the songs that they've chosen are very poignant. Like, they express the feelings in the scene, which I love when directors and cinematographers and stuff, when they're able to do that, when they make the music an added expression of the scene itself rather than just having something simply play in the background. I love watching with closed captions, not only because I'm physically incapable of watching something without closed captions, but I love being able to read the lyrics of the song playing over, a silent scene or just in the background, because you can tell the directors or whoever's in charge of music that they either really, really love their job and they've been very particular about the song choice, or they just kind of threw something in the back. It depends on their budget, but usually higher budget movies have better songs and more direction with the songs that they're using. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be well-known songs. I love when the lyrics match up with a scene perfectly. Another perfect example of this, by the way, is it's the TV series, why am I blanking? It's one of my favorites in the entire world. It's about the family. It has Mandy Moore in it, and Milo. They have three kids. What is that called? This Is Us. Whew. Wow. It's This Is Us. Highly recommend watching This Is Us just in general. It's probably in my top 3 of favorite shows of all time. I think it's one of the most incredible shows, but the music in This Is Us is so, so good. And I actually listened to a podcast episode called That Was Us, and it has 3 of the cast members from the show This Is Us, and they're breaking down every episode because we all know that that's popular nowadays, and I'm all for it. Like, I really like it. I haven't listened to every episode, but I did listen to all of season 1 of that podcast before I got busy. Before Instagram took over. I have too many things I gotta do. Well, anyways, they had the musical director, composer, whatever, on the podcast. That was one of the best podcast episodes just in general. Even if you've never seen the show, it was so good. It was the best podcast I've ever listened to. Truly, it was phenomenal to hear the complexities of what goes into adding songs to movies and TV. So I highly recommend that if you are the type of person that's like me and you enjoy listening to the music in the background of a movie. It's not just about what you're seeing on screen, it's about what you're hearing, it's what's going on, the way that they shoot it. I love all that crap. And The Summer I Turned Pretty just has the formula made. It does. Yes, the characters themselves drive me up an effing wall. They do. I can't morally get on board with how toxic the relationships are, but like the teenage girl in me, oh, I can't stop her from being the biggest fangirl ever when it comes to this series. And after watching 45 minutes of other people's reels and videos and their reactions to the first 2 episodes of season 3, I feel like I'm a part of something bigger than myself. This fandom, the girlies get it. The girlies get it. Honestly, it is worth watching. It is. And I think guys would like it too, genuinely. The gays and the theys 100% on board, but like, I do even think a straight man could watch the show and be genuinely intrigued at this whole love triangle between the brothers. And oh my gosh, I've just had the biggest smile on my face, and it's so annoying because as I'm watching it, I'm like, Belly, no. They're just boys. Why is your whole life revolving around them? They're just boys. And then Taylor and Steven, the brother and the best friend, they are so toxic. Like, they're not healthy relationships that we're watching on screen. And I think that's what's so frustrating to me. But, like, oh my gosh. It's just so good, though. It's so good. It's junk food. It is the best. It's a Hostess donut. I've said it before. There's Hostess donut reads and stuff. There's just, like, no real substance, but, like, oh, the sugar, just the intake of it all is so good. It's so good. So, yeah, I am pissed that they're only doing a weekly release, and I was thinking I could talk myself into just waiting until it's all done. But after 45 minutes of these reels, now my entire For You page is going to be the spoilers on it. So I'm going to have to watch it in real time over the course of the next 3 months. What kind of time do they think I have? I'm in grad school. I'm doing a lot of things. Oh my gosh. But you know what? This summer I turned pretty. Yeah, those reels are good. And I saw that there was this New York airing of it. Everyone on this big field, picnic blankets and stuff watching it. That just seemed like such a vibe. I wanted to be there. I did. Watching those reels of everyone reacting and just like screaming. I was like, yeah, okay, I am a part of this. As much as I want to pretend like I'm better than this and like, whatever, it's just a dumb series. No. I'll be straight up, I'll be honest. I love it. I love it like the rest of you. I'm annoyed while I watch it, but I love it. Okay, thank you. That's what I really needed to get off my chest first thing. All right. Next up, I have an old episode of just some random TV shows that I had previously recorded talking about and never posted on any episode. So I'm just going to plug those in right here, right now. First up, we have The Gorge. This has been on my watch list since the trailer came out. This is a movie with Miles Teller and Anya Taylor. Anya Taylor is from The Queen's Gambit, if you've ever seen that. Oh, that movie is so good. And Miles Teller was our Man of the Summer, I don't know how many years ago it was now, 2-3 years ago, when Top Gun Maverick came out, that football scene, and he, like wiggles. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, with the One Republic song playing in the background. Oh, iconic. Absolutely iconic. That, to me, is summer. That one scene, that song, just people playing out in a field, like rugby or football or something like that. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, that's making me really happy just to think about that song, actually. Oh, I want to play that. I'm probably going to play that right after this podcast. Well, anyways, the trailer made this movie look so interesting. Basically, the plot is you have Miles and Anya. They're on opposite sides of this huge gorge, and they're isolated. They don't know where they are. They're both, military assassins, and they communicate to each other, even though it's not allowed. But they do the whole Taylor Swift "You Belong With Me" thing, where they write on a board, like, what's your name? And they just talk to each other back and forth across this gorge through binoculars. And I was here for it, okay? I saw that trailer. It looked like a book, and I was pumped. So I went over to my friend Courtney's house, and we watched it together. The first third of this movie was so solid. Oh my goodness, we were really setting it up to be an amazing book trope. Oh, I was here for it. The love interest, he finally goes over the gorge to meet with her. Oh, it was good. It was good. Then he falls into the gorge. This is not a spoiler. This is in the trailer, okay? He falls into the gorge, and she goes in after him. This is where things really took a turn for the worst. There were so many different directions that they could have taken this movie, but they chose the worst one by far. It was just so dumb. It was dumb. It made no sense. It felt like we had completely switched movies once they got in the gorge. The plot, twist, it wasn't even a twist. It was just dumb. It was dumb. and I do not recommend The Gorge. I don't even really want to tell you what happened because I'm still a little confused and fuzzy myself. Okay, if you don't want to know, skip this part, but here's spoils, okay? So they get in the gorge, and basically it's these undead people. It was really gross. My trypophobia was like really struggling, so I actually had to close my eyes for a lot of it because I couldn't see. It was like the underworld in Stranger Things, those vibes all day. Okay, that's where we were in the gorge. And they have to like make it out. They do make it out of the gorge, which that in and of itself was kind of dumb that they make it out and then they're just like chilling. Do they go back in? I don't even remember. I don't even remember the plot. That's how forgettable it was. But it just made no sense. None of it made any sense. And their love story of them being so in love didn't make sense either. Because we only saw a slight build-up. They saw each other in person one time. And then, boom. What, they survived like one day in the gorge together and they're soulmates for life? I don't know. Don't watch it, is all I'm trying to say. It was dumb. It was stupid, and I was really, really disappointed by it. On my own scale, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. On the public, I'll go 5, but truly not worth your time. Next up, we have Moana 2, which, I was really disappointed with. I was so sad, especially because I was really excited to have the music by two of my favorite artists, Abigail Barlow and Emily Bear. If you have missed my Bridgerton episode, go back and listen to my whole spiel on Bridgerton and you will get the background story about these two women. I love their music. The unofficial Bridgerton the musical slaps every time. So it was unfortunate that it just wasn't a good movie. The music was not that great, not that memorable, and ultimately it was boring. I think Dylan is in Trouble, the YouTuber, explained it so well of why this movie didn't work. It was just the same recycled plot. It really was not that great. Dylan really goes into depth about how it was her calling, her duty and her dream to go out and be a wayfinder. So her, like, having a struggle of going to be a wayfinder was not that good of a plot, and the side characters weren't that memorable, the songs weren't that catchy, the weird villain that tied up Maui that wasn't actually a villain was weird. Yeah, no. It was just a no across the board. I will never watch it again. Until I probably have children of my own. But as an adult, I will not be trying that again. If you want to watch Moana 2, watch it on your own time because I will not be spending it with you. On my own scale, 5 out of 10. Maybe 4.5. No, we'll do 5. It was just so forgettable. Public, 6. I don't think people really enjoyed it, nor will they. Yeah, bummer. Disney, you have just been crashing and burning lately. Actually, you crashed and burned a long time ago. It's just the fire has continued. Can we just put it out already? Put us all out of our misery. Stop making movies for a sec. Take a beat. This is what happens when my laptop starts like buzzing out and freaking out. Just unplug, replug back in. I think that's what we need. Unplug, give us a few years, and then maybe come back with something that's actually decent, okay? Quit trying to grab at our money, because I don't want to pay it to you anymore, because you're not worth it. Last up on my media consumption, we have a rewatch, We Live in Time. You guys already know. Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield, one of the greatest movies ever. I cannot believe that it did not win an Oscar, nor was it even nominated. I looked up after watching this for the second time, sobbing my eyes out, thinking once again it was absolute perfection. I was like, who the hell is the Academy? Who is the Academy? And why are they choosing the musical with Selena Gomez with the dumbest songs ever over this or over Wicked. Don't even get me started about that. Why was We Live in Time not nominated? This movie was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Ugh, I don't understand. Apparently, the Academy, though, is like 10,000 members, and like 9,000 of them are eligible to vote, and you have to be a part of it. And it all sounds very political, as with most things. I'm sure there's so much more politics involved in all of the Hollywood world than I could ever comprehend. But yeah, I'm going to chop it up to politics because no one in their right mind, I think, could watch that and not nominate it if there was not politics involved. I don't think you can watch this movie and walk away unchanged. Andrew Garfield's acting in this film is phenomenal. And Florence Pugh as well. But both of them, oh, it was so good, you guys. It's so good. If you have not yet watched We Live in Time, please go do yourself a favor and watch it immediately. It is a 10. It's a 10 on my scale. I really can't think of a part of it that I don't enjoy. So it's going to go for a 10. And Public, I'm going to say a solid 7.5 because, once again, it is a sad movie. It's a slower one. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but, it is absolutely mine. Now, before we jump off really quick, I did try watching Here, Here, with Tom Hanks. It was awful. We literally got 5 minutes in before I was like, and I'm out. Because it looked like a stage play. It's just the one room. No. It was a no. The acting was awful. Within the first 5 minutes, I knew that I couldn't watch it. We skipped forward like halfway just to see if it improved. It didn't. So gave up on Here after no more than 5 minutes, and I am automatically just putting that as a 1 out of 10, and I'm just going to give it a 0 for the Public because I don't think anybody should be watching it at all. Was it good? Couldn't tell you. It couldn't get me even 5 minutes in before I had to give up. So I think that tells you all that you need to know about that movie. So instead, go watch We Live in Time because that movie is amazing. In addition to all of those shows that I just mentioned, I would like to just mention that I did also read a book recently, and I loved it. It was fantastic. It's called Living Louder, Louder, by Portia Louder, so it's her last name. And I got interested in this because I started following Portia on Instagram. She is just, on the outside, like this normal Utah mom, just super sweet, seems super nice, just regular housewife kind of woman. And turns out she went to prison for 5 years. She was originally sentenced for 7, but she got off with some good behavior and everything. But she went in for real estate fraud. And she really didn't even fully know that that was even a crime. I don't know. She talks a bit about it on both her Instagram and in her book, but I was really fascinated to read about her journey and what she learned in prison. Being this person that on the outside you would think, like, there's no way that this woman, number one, went to prison, deserved to go to prison, and like survived in prison. Oh, no, she seems like my mom. Like, I'm sorry, I love you, Mom, but I don't think you would do well in prison. I mean, I think you'd bless a lot of lives, but no, I could never, ever, ever, ever imagine my mother in prison. So I think that's why Portia really fascinated me, is because it's this woman that I'm like, wait, what? You were in prison? So I was fascinated. I read her story, and I cannot recommend enough that you should listen to this on audio because Portia reads her own story, and the emotion that is just in every sentence that she speaks. I mean, it's very clear. Obviously, the recording is great, but you can just hear the raw emotion in the back of her throat as she's explaining these tough times that she had and her frustrations and her heartbreak and just her journey. in prison. It's beyond fascinating. I highly recommend following her on Instagram and read her book. Truly, I feel uplifted. I feel like I gained a new perspective. I was deeply moved by this book. It was so inspiring. And it wasn't that long either. So I don't know what it is in physical, if it's super thick, but it wasn't too long of an audiobook. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours, something like that, which I'm used to reading or listening to 12-hour audiobooks. So this one was just a breeze. I mean, finished it in an afternoon. And it was great. I cried multiple times. Highly, highly recommend Living Louder, especially if you want to just hear about someone else's hard experience and how they got through it and what they learned. I love an autobiography like that. That is some of my favorite stories to read. So, highly, highly recommend Living Louder by Portia Louder. You can also check out my review on Goodreads. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm finally back on Goodreads. I've been locked out for, I think, like 4 months now. I haven't been able to log in to my Goodreads. They've shadow banned me or something. Maybe I was just too mean. Because heaven knows I am ruthless in my reviews. I'm here for the comedy, for the bit of it all, but I am mean in my reviews. People love it though, so don't even act like you don't love to read my reviews, because they're awesome and they're hilarious and they are long-winded, but worth it. That's what the people say, at least. That's obviously what I think, but other people have backed me up in that. So anyways, I've been deeply disheartened about my Goodreads being blocked from me, and so I've just been writing reviews on the notes section of my phone, awaiting the day when I'd be let back into the good graces of the Goodread gods. Freaking Amazon. Here's the thing about Goodreads. One of the worst apps ever made. Genuinely. It has not gotten an update since like 2005. No one actually works for Goodreads, and I actually recently found out why. It's because it used to be this app, that had employees and things, and then it was sold to Amazon, to Kindle, and now they just use it to collect data on what books are popular, so they know what to promote and sell on Amazon and on Kindle Unlimited. So it was brilliant to just acquire this company. And all the book lovers out there, we've just clung on to Goodreads, even though no one's updated it. Each and every one of us that uses this app has about 12 million complaints about it. And I've been trying to use Fable. I really have, because it took all of the complaints that every book person has about Goodreads and fixed it. But man, we are creatures of habit, and I don't know. There is one thing about Fable. I don't feel like it's super user-friendly when it comes to looking up books that I've read. I just want, immediately when I'm on the page, I want to be able to look up the book, add it, write the review. It's almost like it has too much going on, so the simplicity of Goodreads is nice in that way. But, of course, I could continue to complain about Goodreads, because you can't do half stars. There's no updates that have been given, although they did just change their logo. That's why I decided to venture back in. They changed the logo. That's all they did. They did 0 updates, but they changed the look of the G on the logo. But I clicked it because it was new, and it had me sign in, and then, wow, out of nowhere. I have emailed them multiple times over the last 4 months. Has anyone responded to me? No. Absolutely not. Of course not, because no one works for Goodreads. It's just this entity for Amazon data collection. But hey, listen, I'm back in. And I uploaded all my reviews, and it made me very happy. I should post them on the Instagram soon. If you've missed some of my best Goodreads reviews, they are on the highlights section of my Instagram. They're hilarious. Go read them. Yeah. I need to publish my reviews. They're so funny. I need to do a blog or something. Yeah, let me add that to my to-do list. I already have so many things. I can't. Stop it, Nikki. Stop. Girl, enough. This is how I talk to myself. So I'm like, maybe if I got off Instagram, then I could do this. But I did just sign up for a, what is it called? An entrepreneurship 3-month course thing that I definitely don't have time for, on top of working 3 jobs and in grad school. But, c'est la vie. I want to be a millionaire, and I will be one day. And this is the way of millionaires. Is I heard this saying the other day, if you want something done, ask a busy person. So true. I'm as busy as it gets. So of course I added one more thing to my plate. But again, I do this to myself. I can't blame anybody. I do enjoy my life. I enjoy the busyness, and I prioritize my downtime. So I think it's all right. If I got off my phone more, I think I'd be slightly happier. I think I would just feel more productive. But I still clearly have time to watch TV and read books and stuff, so somehow I figured it out. But I will always complain. If there's an opportunity to complain about it, I will. So thank you for letting me take that time. Let's just get into the topics for today, yeah? I think it's time. Okay, this one is so random, but I was having a conversation with Jatil. This was years ago that we were having this conversation, but it was recently re-brought up when she was visiting, where I was talking about how I have my dental problems. My mouth is very small. I have jaw issues. And I also have really bad knees. I've had 2 knee surgeries, knee surgery on each knee. I can't kneel for very long. And once upon a time, we were at a campfire, and somehow, I think it was my jaw, something about my dental stuff got brought up, and she knows I have bad knees. And Jatil said to everyone in the group, she said, "You have a small mouth and bad knees? Your future husband better lower those expectations." And to this day, one of the funniest things she's ever said to me, that was just so perfectly said. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And it recently got brought back up, and I was laughing for days. Still am. I mean, they've been gone for weeks now, and every time I look at this note in my phone, reminding me of how funny that was, it was just perfect witty humor. You know what I mean? Like, that was so perfect. Oh my gosh. Listen, you can make fun of me if you're like my, best friends, and in that way, like, that's funny. I don't like humor that puts someone down, but I like smart humor, and that is so, so good. So good. Especially if you can do something about sex with me as a sex educator. I love that humor. That's hilarious to me. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. The other one is just a quick note. It says, "I don't really like it when a guy is too tall. Anything over 6'1" is pushing it for me." Yeah. I still do think I stand by that, because I almost get overwhelmed if they're so tall. Just, the sizing of everything. Our hand size is so different. My pinkies are miniature, so it's really difficult for me to hold hands with someone that has really large hands. My pinkies go numb. I know that's so stupid and dumb, but like, if you knew me in person and you saw my pinkies, they shock everybody, because it's almost like they were stunted in their growth. They're not a normal pinky. Like, they're so small. They're dwarfed. I have dwarfed pinkies. So holding hands, it's the crosses I bear. I can't really, it's uncomfortable if their hands are too large. This is so random. I should delete this. But you know what? I might leave it in. We'll see. All right, let's just stick on the theme of guys for just one more second. I saw this video of this woman giving her spouse, spicy photos of her throughout the wedding. I've seen that quite a bit, actually, where the bridesmaids and stuff will, like, slip a little Polaroid to the groom throughout the wedding day, and it's a boudoir shoot of the bride. Now, here's my personal thoughts on that. I am in full support of a boudoir shoot. Oh my gosh, absolutely 10 out of 10. Recommend. I'm also in full support of giving that to a spouse, 100%. Here's what I'm not in support of. I said my note was I will not be giving my husband a book of spicy pictures on camera. He will be getting one of those for sure on our wedding day, but it will not be in the moment that will be shared on the internet. I that's a private thing. I don't personally want to watch your husband's reaction to those. I mean, I get it. It's, promoting it and stuff, and I'm all about that. But just personally, with my future spouse, like that will not be a recorded moment. I don't want some random videographer that I'm paying to record the moment that I hand that book over. Like, no. I also don't want my bridesmaids to be giving those photos to my spouse and then just like having him, I don't like have to look at it, possibly be uncomfortable in that moment, and then also knowing that like all my bridesmaids are in on this, so it makes it more of a public thing. Like, no, 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 no. I want that to be super private, me and him, just, yeah. So I'm in full support of it, and hey, listen, if like, you're into voyeurism and all that, and like you really like the element of sharing it with others, like that's between you two, all right? You two and everybody else that you seem to involve. But just as a photographer and stuff, I would feel like I'm imposing on that moment. So anyways, I saw that video, and me and my friend Ivana were having a full conversation about it where it was like, okay, this is such a cute idea. I love the idea of giving the book and stuff, but like not on camera. No, that's a private moment, I think, personally. Maybe it's just because I literally talk to people about their sex lives all day, every day, and I'm completely open and fine to hear about that. I mean, obviously, that's the career I chose, and I really do enjoy it, and I enjoy helping, and none of those conversations bother me in the slightest, but maybe it's just I'm a little bit more protective of my own sexuality or sharing it in any way. I'm fine with like saying my preferences, like this, I'm 6'1", blah blah blah, but like nothing that's actually super significant. Those kind of things, those kind of conversations, I like to keep just between me and the person that I'm with. So, yeah, I think it would definitely apply to my wedding day and to anything beyond that. So, I'm completely fine if other people want to share, and especially if they want to share it with me, by all means. But if you're thinking that I would do that, you'd be incorrect. I'm very actually quite private about my own dating life and relationships and things. Yeah, I'm never public about that. And I probably never will be, to be honest. This next one is short and simple. I keep forgetting that Liam from One Direction is dead. And it really is crazy when you think about it. If they were ever going to do, One Direction reunion tour, anything like that, 10 years from now, he's gone. And that's nuts. Also, I've heard that there's some conspiracy theories about the Illuminati involving his death. So, anyways, again, I love to hear a conspiracy theory. I really do. And I love the Illuminati ones. The Beyonce stuff, yeah. Nah, I'll always listen and tune in to an Illuminati conspiracy theory. I think there's some truth in it for sure. For this last little bit, I'm just going to go through some hot takes. Like, I have hot take cards, and I'm just going to read what they say and then, record my responses. This first one is, some celebrities are more influential than the president. Absolutely. 100%. Taylor Swift? Absolutely. If Kelly Clarkson ran for president tomorrow, I'd vote for her. Purely based on the fact that she's Kelly Clarkson. Absolutely, that's true. It's okay to steal from big corporations. Oh, that one's tough because it depends. What are we stealing? Like, are we stealing, paper from the copier? Are we stealing money? Are we stealing snacks from the vending machine? Like, what are we stealing? Because blanket answer, yes, but more nuanced answer depends on what we're stealing. Next, throwing up is better than having a fever. Completely and utterly disagree. Like, I can't emphasize enough how much I disagree with that. having a fever sucks. It sucks to have your entire body aching and stuff, but like I will never ever have something that is worse to me than nausea. No. Heaven help me if I'm ever pregnant one day. People are inherently good. Absolutely. 100%. I am an optimist till the day I die. I really do think this world is full of good people doing good things, trying hard, so much kindness, love, generosity, all of the positive things. Absolutely. I do think in our deepest parts of our soul, we are good. We were born innocent and we are products of our environment. And yes, people make terrible choices and some things are inexcusable, but as a whole, I do think we as human beings are inherently good. Absolutely. Ghosts are real. Oh, 100%. 100% they are. Absolutely. We believe in life after death, so for sure. For sure, ghosts are real. And I will never be messing with them. No, no, no. I mean, obviously, there's good. We don't necessarily call them ghosts, but like I got my family, my friends that have all passed on. They're like rooting me on, cheering me on, working hard on the other side for my good. I absolutely believe that. But I also do believe that there's a lot of not so great spirits around, you know? And if you give them an invitation, they'll take it. And I will never do a Ouija board. I can't even watch a scary movie. Like, absolutely not. I'm not inviting that spirit in to my presence, my dwelling. No. No, no, no. Ghosts are 100% real. Okay. I'm going to save this one for a guest. When a guest is on, I want to discuss this exact question. So this is just me bookmarking this question. It's totally okay to pee in the shower. Courtney, I'm calling you out. The next episode that we record together, I want to talk about this because I just know in my heart Courtney's going to have a very strong opinion one way or the other on this. Is it okay to pee in the shower? That's it. I want to discuss with Courtney. Everyone has a soulmate. Um, I don't particularly believe in soulmates. I do believe that there are people that we knew beforehand because again, I believe that we existed before we came to Earth and will exist after. We like the religious denomination that I'm a part of, we believe that we lived with God prior to coming here and that we learned and got ready and were prepped for this time here on Earth. And I do think that there are people that I've met in my life where my soul, like the part of me that lived with God before and lived with their their spirits, that I've it's almost been this familiarity that transcends this earth. I know that sounds so meta, but there are so many friends that I have that I have met, and just from the second, literally the second I met them, it was as if I was reuniting with them. This was not our first time meeting, you know? Like, we have known each other in some level, to some capacity, that doesn't exist here, that had to have existed someplace else to make me feel so at home, so comfortable, so seen, heard, loved, and just someone who gets me on my soul level. And for me, I've been very privileged to have that with friends. I mean, I'm single, so I I don't necessarily know if I fully believe that they're soulmates just because I think that's kind of discouraging to think that you're just trying to find one person. I think that you could make a very happy, great life with a lot of different people, and I really believe in choosing and being a chooser in your own life and your own story and your own struggles and stuff. I really believe in that. But as far as friendships go and like soulmate friendships, now that I believe in. Absolutely. 100% because I've lived it, because I have them. in my life. When I went to China and I met Meg, from the second I met her, it was just like my soul knew her. I don't know how else to explain it. She's like, described it before as like platonically falling in love. Like, I completely agree. And when I moved to Switzerland, I felt the same way when I met Nea and my friend Fani. Like, that was exactly how I felt. I felt like we were almost destined to be friends this whole time, but not because I believe in destiny. It's because I think we were friends beforehand. I think this was just us meeting back up in a way that we had already prearranged. And then moving here to Australia, like when I met Lucy on my day one, hour one, minute one, really, of like being here. And I just, it was like my soul just knew her. And I don't know, there's no other way to truly explain it. So I think in a way, I do believe in soulmates, in people that we were with beforehand and that we were designed to never be without for a long period of time. Like, we were besties before and we knew going into this like life that we were going to be united and at least have each other in some capacity to face the things that we were going to face here on earth. Like, that I truly do believe. I don't know about romantic soulmates necessarily, because I just think I think maybe for some people, maybe it's something that some people get and it's this gift and maybe other people don't. I could believe that as well, that maybe that's just one of those things that isn't for everybody, but it's for some certain people. Some people definitely had their soulmates. Like, they were predestined, I guess you could say, to be married here on earth. But I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily believe that for me. Because, I mean, what if I'm single for the rest of my life and I don't like the thought that, like, oh, I just missed my chance of, like, meeting my soulmate. Like, nah, no. And also, I want to choose the person that I'm marrying. I don't want to feel like, I don't know, that there's somehow this perfect person and I'm perfect, like, and that's why we're together. I don't know. I'm too cynical for that. But soulmate friends, 100%. Baths are better than showers. Oh, completely agree. I hate showering. That's one of my least favorite activities, actually. I take very fast showers. I hate it. There's nothing really I enjoy about a shower. I don't find it relaxing. I don't find it meditative, cleansing in any way. I don't like it. I don't like washing my hair. I don't like washing my body. I don't like anything about it. But a bath? Absolutely, I'll take a bath every day. I love a bath. I absolutely love just being cocooned in warm water. That's why I love floating so much. Flotation therapy. That's why I'm so into that, because the water never gets cold, your body never gets cold. You know what? Let's just talk about floating for real quick, because I don't think I've ever really dove deep into floating, but this has been an obsession of mine for years. A hyperfixation. I've read 4 books on it. I worked in a clinic for 4 years. Okay, I know a lot about floating. If you have never heard of flotation therapy, let me introduce you to something that will actually legitimately change your life. And if it doesn't, there's something wrong with you. It's not something wrong with the floating, okay? Let's just make that clear. So, floating or flotation therapy is sensory deprivation, which some people tell me that they've heard of it from Stranger Things. I don't know, never seen it. It was a little too creepy for me. I watched the first 3 episodes, and the upside down world or whatever was a little too much for my trypophobia, so I had to stop. But apparently it's in that show, flotation therapy. But floating is usually it's about 10 to 12 inches of water, so like a foot of water. I don't know what that is in centimeters. You can look it up in your own time. But it's not very much. It's like to your calf of water. It's not really very high. And then over 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt, which Epsom salt, magnesium is what that is. Very, very good for you. I have read multiple books on the effects of magnesium, completely backed by science. Like, magnesium is 100% proven to help you. it's used for like 99 functions of your body. Like whereas you have like vitamin C is for this function and vitamin D helps with this and this, fruits and vegetables have these vitamins that help. Magnesium is needed for like every single function in your body. So a lot of foods contain magnesium, but a lot of people are actually magnesium deficient. And that's why a lot of athletes and stuff will take magnesium supplements because it really helps. One of the biggest things it helps with is recovery. So, sore muscles, bruising of any kind. It's also really great when you're pregnant for your placenta and swelling. It's fantastic. Magnesium's really good for you. And I have magnesium spray that I use on my legs. I have really restless legs because of my nerve damage. So at night it can be quite painful and uncomfortable. And I'll spray magnesium on and boom. It's done more than any like deep rub, icy hot, anything like that. Like magnesium has helped more significantly than anything else. Not to say that that other stuff didn't help because it has, it's taking the edge off, but in a lot of ways, magnesium can sometimes completely eliminate my pain, my period pain. I really love spraying it on my abdomen and my lower back. Highly recommend. Ladies out there, link in my bio for some magnesium spray. You want it to have a high magnesium content, by the way, like 250, I think, milliliters or something. I don't know. It's on my Instagram. Anyways, so these pools, they're filled with like 10 inches of water and then over 1,000 pounds of magnesium. So you float with no effort. Even if you're someone that can't float, like you will automatically float once you step in, and it's not like all of a sudden your foot's floating up. Like no, you lay down and then you'll immediately be buoyant. And so like the top half of you usually isn't covered by the water. Because you're just kind of floating right on the surface. So the air in the room or in the pod that you're in is the same temperature as your body and the water. They're all going to be the same temperature to help you not be too hot but also not be too cold. It just wants it to be completely neutral because the whole point is sensory deprivation. So you want to be taken away from your senses, and that includes the sense of your body. So you're completely weightless, have no gravitational pull, like your spine and everything. This is why pregnant women can actually float on their back in a float because there's no pressure on their spine. It's fantastic. So a lot of people will just float on their back. I prefer to float on my side because a lot of times these floating places will have pillows. So I really like floating on my side. It's the most comfortable for me. But you're in there, you can have complete pitch black darkness. You can't even see your hand in front of your face, and then silence. You wear waterproof earplugs, and it's just you. You have no body temperature, no body weight, no light, no sound, just your brain. And it's interesting to me that when I pitch this to some people, they're like, that sounds terrifying. Like, okay, I feel like maybe you should go to therapy to work that out of why you can't be by yourself, just with yourself for an hour. Like, why is that terrifying to you? If it's a claustrophobia thing or something, I can understand. There are open room flotations. That's one of my favorites. The one in American Fork, Body Balance Massage and Float, shout out. That one's open room, and you can actually float as a couple. So it's about the size of a king size bed. And the shower's in the room with you because you shower both before and after. You want a completely clean body. But I think there is something so healing about having nothing, of just turning everything off, literally, and then just existing with your thoughts in your mind. And I got super into floating. I mean, hello, I've read multiple books on it, worked in a clinic, and I was actually floating for 2 hours every week. 2 hours consecutively. So I was just me, pitch black, silence, 2 hours every single week for over a year. And that was life changing. It was one of the best things I've ever done for my back pain, by far. My favorite thing about the entire experience. Are you ready for this? The cherry on top, you don't get pruny. Your fingertips, your toesies, everything, it doesn't get pruny. The salt it just makes your skin silky smooth. Oh, it's so nice. And you can listen to music in there as well. I would sometimes bring my underwater speaker. Billie Eilish in a float is magical because it's just so expressive. There's so many different sounds. Like listening to You Should See Me in a Crown or Lovely by Billie Eilish in a float when you have nothing, being surrounded by the music. Because Billie Eilish and her brother both have, I think it's called synesthesia, where music is colors. They can see sound as colors and movement, and it's like artistry. So they make their songs have a lot of things in the background to make it more artistic for them visually, which ends up sounding incredible. I think that's a huge part of why their music is so enchanting in a way, and just because it envelops you. There's so much more going on than just on the surface level of like these notes and this guitar or whatever. Like there's these noises in the background that add texture to the sound. Oh, and it's euphoric being in a float with Billie Eilish playing, or just some like violin. I have an entire float playlist. If you ever decide to go floating, like follow me on Spotify and go listen to my float playlist while I'm there. I have one that's for a fast float that's like 30 minutes. I have like a long float playlist that's a few hours. I meticulously put these songs together for a floating experience. And after Maddie and Jake died, I loved floating to just help with my grief. Sometimes I would play videos. I would make like a compilation of a bunch of their Marco Polo videos that they had sent me, back and forth, just like our conversations, or I would do a compilation of, just videos that I had on my phone of them laughing and us talking or whatever. And I would make like a 30-minute compilation of their voices in just these videos. And so there I was with nothing, and I was just able to really sit in my grief, to just have it wash over me, to hear the sounds of my friends that aren't here on earth with me anymore, and just have that sadness. But it wasn't this depressing, sad thing because I was able to cry if I needed to cry. I was able to feel whatever it was that my body needed to feel. And then afterwards, the best part was there was no headache. There was no body aches because the entire time I'm soaking up this magnesium I just felt released from these emotions. I felt sometimes really sleepy, like ready for bed, just so at peace. Other times I felt rejuvenated, but it never had a negative effect on me. By almost allowing myself this time, this permission, that was really that year when I floated every single week for a year. That was when Maddie and Jake died. I went in and sometimes I would go in because I was really upset and I would think that, oh, I'm going to spend the whole time like just really sitting in my grief and being sad. But really, I only needed like 10 minutes. I just needed 10 minutes of solely focusing on that in order for my body and my mind to switch to something else. Because that's the thing, I think that's what gives so many people so much anxiety, is they're like terrified, like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to think about for an hour? I have so much going on in my life. I'm so stressed out, whatever. It is so good to be in that deep of a state of meditation, because this is when you start to realize that these problems that you've been avoiding and you're constantly pushing to the back of your mind every single time that they come up, they really sometimes just need 20 minutes of your sole focus. 20 minutes of no distractions, of you being willing to sit with something uncomfortable or scary or sad or upsetting. And that's all it needed. But of course, you don't take the 20 minutes. So instead, it pokes at your brain every 5 minutes, it feels like, throughout your day. So it makes it feel like it's going to break you into pieces if you think about it for too long. When, I don't know, at least for me, I discovered that that's not the case. That I'm a lot stronger than I think I am. My brain is able to process a lot more than I give it credit for. And my emotions, yes, they can be all consuming, but when I let them consume me, when I give it that space to do that, I'm able to ride that wave, truly. Like, yes, you get covered. If you were in the ocean, and this huge wave comes over, it's terrifying to, like, see a big wave come over you, and you, like, you have to get ready to hold your breath, but eventually it does pass, and you poke your head back up, and it moves on. And yeah, another wave may come, but just giving yourself that time to allow that wave to sweep over you and to kind of go under for a minute, I can't tell you the wonders that it did for my mental health, for my physical health. And again, just not having a headache after crying for hours was so great. It was so great to be able to just cry and then just like not have a headache after. Oh, so nice. So flotation therapy, I highly, highly, highly recommend to anybody, especially if you're going through a grief journey, if you're pregnant, if you just have a stressful life and you're depressed, if you have a traumatic brain injury. I read a whole book on how it helps with that. Athletes, I mean, Steph Curry has one in his house. The entire Dallas Cowboys team has them in their training center now. Like, there's so many benefits to floating, okay? I could spend hours and hours talking about how great it is and all the different ways that people have found to help. Also, 1 hour in a float is equivalent to 4 hours of REM sleep, okay? Insane. You feel so well rested if you're able to float or if you're able to sleep. Sometimes I would sleep, sometimes I would go in thinking I would sleep and then I was end up being wide awake and vice versa. I just let my body do whatever it needed to do in a float because I allowed it the space to just tell me what I needed, And I do think it's really, really important to feel comfortable with yourself, just being alone with you. Like, babe, at the end of the day, you can't get away from you. So if you don't like yourself, if you can't be comfortable with your own thoughts and your own insecurities, like, you gotta focus on that because no amount of distraction will ever be enough. Because at the end of the day, when the lights turn off, it is you stuck with you. So you better like the person that you are. And if you don't, figure out why you don't, because that should be addressed before you try and solve any other problem. You can't do it unless you can just be with yourself. And I'm very lucky. I mean, I travel all over the world by myself, so I am very accustomed to being with me. I like myself. I genuinely do, because I have forced myself into these situations where I had to get to know myself. I had to own up to what I like, what I don't like, what I'm okay with, what I feel comfortable with. And that doesn't mean that I like being alone. I would much rather prefer to be with people. That's a personal choice. I am very extroverted in that way. I would always choose to be with other people, or at least one other person, but I'm okay if that opportunity is not presented to me. I don't have to avoid being with me or feeling like I'm not enough if other people don't want to be with me. Like, I don't have any of that because I'm okay. I'm okay to go someplace on my own, to call someplace by myself, to set up an appointment for myself, to go to another country where I don't speak the language and figure it out. Like, that's so hard. It's very hard, and it has to be a choice that you make. And I don't think that that's necessarily the step everyone needs to take. But I do think it has helped me immensely in my life and helping me become the person that I am. It's all began, and I think it ends with me feeling comfortable with me. Just me existing. Like, I like what I've got going on up there. Yeah, I could improve and not be on Instagram so much, but ultimately, it's not all bad. And I think that's where we'll end today's episode. Go be with yourself. Just sit in a room in silence for 30 minutes. See what happens. Or, better, go float. All right, thanks for listening to my thoughts on life today. This has been amazing. And this has also been Life According to Nikki.